Silverware clinks against bone china, echoing through the kind of steakhouse where the waiter's jackets probably cost more than your rent. I'm at the head of a table for 8, nursing the realization that this Cabernet being poured with a flourish just added another $450 to my tab. Across from me, my father, Graham, swirls his glass like a man who's always believed he's owed the best. He's 68 now, silver hair still thick, Brooks Brothers suit still crisp, and he hasn't pulled a paycheck in 7 years. Doesn't matter, his confidence never wavers. "How's the market treating you, Audrey?" he asks, pretending he cares, but really, he's just thinking about his mortgage. "It's fine," I answer, keeping it short. I've been a senior investment analyst long enough to know that's just code for when's my next check. My mother, Charlotte, sits beside him, her diamond tennis bracelet catching the light as she reaches for her water. She's 65, still has that country club glow, blonde highlights always fresh, skin smooth thanks to whatever her latest procedure was. "Audrey, darling," she says, warm voice, calculating eyes. "Did I mention Danica and Preston finally found the perfect venue? And there it is. The real reason for this dinner." My sister, Danica, grins at me from across the table, flashing a 4-carat engagement ring because, of course, Preston Montgomery III doesn't do anything on a small scale. She's 28, the family beauty, her value measured by the pedigree of her fiancé instead of anything she's actually done. "It's this gorgeous resort in the Swiss Alps," Danica gushes, her voice going up an octave. "A 19th century chateau, glacier views, a private chef. It's absolutely perfect." Preston sits next to her, tall and bland, nodding along. He's got that look, born into enough money to never need a personality. My brother Elias, the quiet one, exchanges a look with his wife, Lena. Elias is 35, the free spirit who escaped by becoming a teacher. Lena squeezes his hand under the table. Aunt Gwendolyn sips her martini, watching like she's seen this whole circus before. "The resort is divine," my mother says, steering the conversation like she's performing brain surgery. "They just need the $25,000 deposit to hold the date." She pauses, smiling. "I'll send you the wire info." Suddenly, everyone's looking at me. I take a slow sip of water, feeling their expectations settle like a weight on my chest. "Actually," I say, trying to keep my voice steady, "I can't swing $25,000 right now. I'm building my own emergency fund." Silence. Preston stares at his napkin. Elias's eyebrows shoot up. Even the waiter, bread basket in hand, does a quick U-turn. My father breaks the quiet with a short, sharp laugh. "Savings?" he says, loud enough for half the room to hear. "Your job is to earn." He leans in, voice dropping to that register that always made my stomach knot. "How does it feel to be the only useless ATM here?" Laughter erupts around the table, except for Elias and Lena. I freeze. That laughter hits like a punch to the gut. Suddenly I'm 10 again, sitting at the dining room table while my mother deals out our family roles like tarot cards. Elias, the free spirit. Danica, the beauty. Then she turned to me, "But you, Audrey, you're the smart one. You're our retirement plan." The memory flickers and shifts. Now I'm 26, a junior analyst, still paying off student loans. My phone rings. It's my mother, but her voice is small, scared. Hospital sounds in the background, a doctor murmuring. "Audrey?" she whispers. "If we lose this house, the stress will kill me. My life is in your hands." That night, I agreed to cover their mortgage, just for a little while, I told myself. That was 7 years ago. The memory fades. Laughter keeps rolling at the table, but something inside me finally snaps. 7 years of this. 6 months of therapy. I smile, but it's not my usual smile, the one that promises I'll fix everything. This one's colder. Harder. "You're right, Dad," I say, setting my fork down. "A useless ATM should be out of service." The laughter dies. My mother's face goes rigid. "Audrey, don't be dramatic. You're embarrassing us." I've never been more serious. I pull out my phone, my hands steady. The whole family stares, horrified. Let's see. First, I'm canceling the $5,500 mortgage payment scheduled for Monday. Done. I tap the screen again. Next, I'm blocking both of your numbers from my Zelle and Venmo. Done. My mom goes completely pale. My dad, the opposite, his face turns this angry, blotchy red. I toss my corporate card onto the table. That's for my meal and a glass of wine. The rest? Not my problem. Dad shoves his chair back, napkin hitting the floor. You ungrateful, after everything we've done for you. I stand up, and suddenly I feel taller than ever. What have you done? I paid for my own Ivy League degree. I'm paying your mortgage. I stare around the table at their stunned faces. I'm done. I walk out. I can feel every single person in the restaurant watching me, but nobody says a word. The only sound is my heels clicking on the marble floor. Outside, the San Francisco air is cold and sharp and, honestly, it feels like freedom. For the first time in 7 years, I can actually breathe. My Uber jerks through Nob Hill traffic. My phone keeps buzzing in my hand, going off like crazy, screen lighting up like I just hit the lottery. Except the only thing I've won is proof that I've kicked the hornet's nest. Charlotte, you'll kill me. Is that what you want? Call me now. Graham, you will fix this. This childish tantrum stops today. Danica, you've ruined everything. The venue won't hold without the deposit. My hands are shaking so much I almost dropped the phone. My whole body feels hot and sick. I've never stood up to them, not once in 34 years. The messages blur. Tears threaten, but I blink them away. I'm not answering. Not now. Maybe never. Then another notification pops up. Someone I didn't expect. Elias, are you okay? That was incredible. I just stare at his words. My brother has never, ever taken my side against our parents. He's the quiet one, the one who got through by disappearing. But here it is, 6 words, and suddenly, I feel something warm uncurling in my chest. Tiny, but stronger than the panic that's been crushing me. Next morning, I call in sick. Not a lie, just the thought of faking normal while Charlotte is blowing up my phone makes me want to throw up. Instead, I take a long shower, pull on jeans and a sweater. Not the blazer and slacks Graham once insisted made me look like the family provider. Then I head downtown to see my financial advisor. Leo Vance's managed my money since my first bonus. Never questioned the regular flow of cash to Sterling family accounts, never hinted I was stretching myself thin. When I walk into his office, his face changes from polite to worried. Audrey, what's going on? Your message said it was urgent. My voice comes out steadier than I expect. I need a full audit. Every dollar that's left my accounts in the last 7 years. I need to see the damage. 2 hours later, we have a number. Leo turns his screen toward me, a spreadsheet, rows and rows of transactions, color-coded by who got what. At the bottom, the total glows like something malignant. $475,000. That's not counting the gifts, the fancy dinners, the loans I'll never get back. $475,000, I say, and the number scrapes my throat raw. That sick feeling is back, but there's something else, too, a weird sense of relief. I wasn't just being paranoid. Leo isn't done. He leans in, and his usual cool, professional vibe slips. The number's bad, Audrey, but this is worse. He clicks to another tab. I pulled your full credit report. There it is, 3 active credit cards and a personal loan I've never even heard of, all opened 3 years ago, all mailed to my parents' place in Marin County. Every balance close to maxed out. All in my name. $85,000 in debt. Fraud. In my name. The room tilts. My nails dig into my palms. They committed identity theft? Leo's voice is gentle but firm. This isn't just family taking advantage, Audrey. This is criminal fraud. It slams into me. This wasn't just them using me. It was a crime. Every sacrifice my parents talked about was mine. That sense of duty? All one way. I see my dad's face in my mind. Graham, the ex-executive, who'd never stooped to a $90,000 job, it was beneath him. Graham, who apparently knew plenty about credit applications and how to use my info without me noticing. Graham, whose pride couldn't handle being knocked down a rung, but who had no problem committing felony fraud. And right beside him, Charlotte. My mother always had a knack for falling ill at the most convenient times right when I started asking questions about money. Every crisis was a distraction, a guilt trip designed to keep me quiet while Graham drained not just my paycheck, but my future too. Last night, leaving the restaurant, panic clawed at me. Now, it's gone. In its place is something sharper, cold, clear resolve. This isn't a family spat anymore. This is legal. I think about my therapist, the one I've been seeing for 6 months, the one who first said the word abuse out loud. I flinched, argued, insisted my family just needed help. But now I get it. I grab my phone and call her office. Dr. Shaw? It's Audrey Sterling. I need a referral. For a financial litigation lawyer. Someone tough. She doesn't hesitate, just gives me a name. Nadia Rivera. Apparently, Rivera's reputation is all scorched earth and zero patience for financial crimes. I don't wait. I book an appointment for tomorrow. The rest of the day, I sit in my apartment, working through a list, credit bureaus, fraud departments, freezing accounts one by one. Every call, every action, makes me feel stronger, like I'm finally taking back ground they'd stolen. My phone keeps buzzing. At first, the messages are furious. Then they turn frantic. Graham, what did you do? My cards declined. Charlotte, the bank called. The mortgage, call me now. I don't answer. I don't need to. For the first time in my life, I'm not scrambling to appease them. I'm holding my line. This isn't about running away anymore. This is about standing up. Monday slips by. So does the mortgage payment deadline. My phone lights up with my parents' names until I silence it. The piece lasts all of 12 minutes before they double down, voicemails, one after another. The first is Charlotte, voice trembling like she's rehearsed it. Audrey, please. She sobs. The bank is calling, they're threatening foreclosure. Please call me back. Delete. The next one comes an hour later, her voice sharp. After everything I've done for you, carrying you, picking your schools, giving up my career, this is how you repay me? Delete. By afternoon, the tone curdles. You're tearing this family apart. Your father can't sleep. I can't eat. Is that what you want? I set my phone down. I'm surprised how calm I feel. These messages used to send me spiraling. Now they just sound desperate, like the last moves of people who've lost control of their favorite puppet. My therapist would call it progress. I call it clarity. At 7:14 p.m., the buzzer goes off. I check the camera, expecting a delivery, but see my father instead, red-faced, jabbing the button. Graham's out there, yelling at the doorman, jacket askew, hair wild. I need to see my daughter, now. This is a family emergency. Hector, the doorman, stays cool. Sir, if Ms. Sterling wanted to see you, she'd have authorized you. Graham's face darkens. I paid for this building. My money bought this place. Hector's tone goes cold. Sir, you need to leave, or I'll call the police. Graham steps closer, finger pointed. You listen to me, you little. Hector's done. That's enough. I'm calling the police. Instantly, my father deflates. Shoulders drop, hand through his hair. He remembers he's Graham Sterling, upstanding citizen, not a criminal. Fine, he mutters. Just tell her I was here. He leaves. 20 minutes later, I hear paper slide under my door. It's a note in his angry handwriting, pen nearly ripping through the page. You owe us. Fix this. That's it. No, I love you. No, let's talk. Just a demand, underlined 3 times. The entitlement nearly burns through the paper. I file it away under evidence. My phone pings, a text from Danica, right on schedule. Audrey, Mom's having heart palpitations. She's so worried. The doctor says it's stress-induced. Please just pay it, I'm scared for her. The old knot of guilt tightens in my stomach, my sister's signature move. 6 months ago, this would have sent me scrambling for my checkbook, apologizing the whole time. Not today. Today, all I can think about is the $85,000 in debt, the credit cards opened in my name, the loans I never saw. Disgust is all I feel now. I see it for what it is, a coordinated attack. And I'm not falling for it. I reply with a single word, no. Then I block her number too. Wednesday morning, I call my therapist. Dr. Eliza Shaw's been seeing me for 6 months. Not long, but long enough to know an emergency when she hears one. I can fit you in at noon, she says after a pause. Something in my voice must have tipped her off. Her office smells like old leather and Earl Grey tea. I sink into the cracked armchair, start picking apart the last 48 hours. Usually, I cry here. It's almost a ritual. Talking about my family always brings the tears. But today, I don't feel that. No tears. Just this cold, hard anger. They stole from me, I say. My voice doesn't shake. They manipulated me, and now they're trying the same tricks to pull me back in. Dr. Shaw nods. What's different this time? I see it now. The patterns. The lies. The way they twist things. She smiles not because she's happy, but because she recognizes the shift. You weren't a victim, Audrey. You survived a long-term emotional siege. Now you're a strategist. Strategist. The word lands right. Feels like armor. So, what does a strategist do next? I ask. She says she prepares her battlefield. Thursday morning, I meet my new lawyer. Nadia Rivera's office isn't what I pictured. No fancy wood paneling, just clutter, stacks of files, and the sharp smell of coffee. Her handshake is firm. She looks me straight in the eye. Let me get this straight, she says, flipping through my financial advisor's notes. Your parents have been draining your accounts for 7 years. $475,000 gone. And now there's $85,000 in fraudulent debt in your name. Yes. She takes off her glasses, wipes them with the edge of her shirt. Miss Sterling, I've been at this for 27 years. I've seen a lot of financial abuse. She slides her glasses back on, eyes serious. This is leverage. This is everything. For the next week, I turn into a document archaeologist. I dig through 7 years of financial records. My financial advisor swears out affidavits, marking every dollar that vanished. I pull every bank statement, color code the transfers, $5.5 here, $25 there. Death by 1,000 cuts. I save voicemails. Print out Danica's texts. Screenshot the security footage of my father threatening the doorman. Every piece of evidence makes me stronger. Every record strips away another layer of guilt. By the next Wednesday, my file's 3 inches thick. 7 years of abuse, all on paper. It ends with a felony. I'm ready. I sit in Nadia's office, hands steady, phone on speaker. Nadia hits record. I dial my parents' number. My mother picks up on the first ring. Audrey? Oh, thank God. Mom, Dad, I've reviewed my finances. I'm willing to have one meeting to discuss this. Charlotte's relief is obvious. Oh, thank goodness, Audrey. We knew you'd do the right thing. Your father found a lovely Italian restaurant it won't be at a restaurant. My voice is clipped, professional. It'll be at my lawyer's office. Tomorrow. 10 a.m. Be there. I hang up before she can answer. The silence is perfect, sharp, and clean. Nadia nods once. Well done. The power's shifted, they know it. The next morning, Nadia and I sit in a sterile conference room. The clock reads 9:57 a.m. My case file sits between us, neatly labeled. At 10 a.m. sharp, her assistant opens the door. Graham and Charlotte walk in, faces set with annoyance and entitlement. Charlotte's got her pearl necklace on, her armor. Graham's suit is pressed, posture stiff, eyes hard. They sit down across from us, ready to bulldoze me back into line. They have no idea what's coming. All right, Audrey, my father starts, slipping into that tone that used to make me shrink. This little tantrum has gone on long enough. We're willing to accept your apology and, Mr. and Mrs. Sterling, Nadia cuts in, voice cold and professional. This isn't a negotiation. We're here to inform you of your options. She slides a file across the table. Here's a copy of a police report we've already filed with the SFPD for identity theft. My mother's hand freezes halfway to the folder. It details $85,000 in fraudulent credit cards and loans opened in your daughter's name, Nadia says. We have the statements, the applications, the IP logs. I watch their faces shift. My mother goes pale, fingers clamped on her purse. My father, the opposite, his face flushes bright red, color climbing up his neck. How dare you? He shouts, fist slamming the table, water glasses jumping. This is a family matter. You'd send your own parents to jail over a misunderstanding? My mother's eyes brim with tears, not her usual careful, dabbing at the corner tears, but the kind that streak her mascara and leave black smudges on her cheeks. Audrey, how could you? Her voice cracks and she reaches for my hands across the table. I pull mine back. After everything we sacrificed for you? We just needed a little help. You have so much. It was your responsibility. There it is. The guilt bomb. The big one. My therapist warned me about this move, the way they pull it out whenever I push back, like clockwork. I keep my hands in my lap and watch the whole show. My mother's trembling lip, her shoulders shuddering, her whole body racked with sobs. I wait for that familiar ache, the guilt I've carried for as long as I can remember. But there's nothing. Not anger, not pain. Just emptiness. Cold and still, where that old guilt used to live. I turn to Nadia, my lawyer, and give her a small nod. She doesn't even blink at the drama. As I said, the report's filed. This is non-negotiable. The credit bureaus need it to clear Audrey's name. The district attorney's very interested. My father's face twists that red, pinched look I know too well. The same one he wore when I told him I wouldn't pay for Danica's car insurance anymore. I remember how I used to scramble to make it right, desperate to smooth things over. Nadia flips another document onto the table. Audrey's spoken with the DA. She'll push for probation instead of jail time. My mother looks up, hope flickering. On one condition. Nadia slides a second paper in front of them. You agree to pay back the $85,000. Now. My father barks out a bitter laugh. We don't have $85,000. You know that. That's why, Nadia says, sliding over more paperwork, you're putting your house on the market. Today, the escrow company will make sure the $85,000 goes straight to the creditors. Silence. The kind that fills a room and sucks the air out of it. I watch as the truth settles on them. They're trapped. Sign or face a felony charge. Their family mess has turned into a legal firing squad. My father's hands, those same hands that used to ruffle my hair when I brought home straight A's, that signed loan applications in my name, start to shake. My mother's shoulders slump, all the fight seeping out of her. You can't be serious, my father says. But the fight's gone from his voice. He just sounds old. Your daughter is very serious, Nadia replies. Sign, or the DA presses charges. Your choice. For a second, my mother really looks at me. Not as their safety net or endless bank account, but as someone with boundaries she bulldozed right over. How will we live? She whispers. Those words should set off the old caretaker reflex, but all I think about is the $475,000 I've already handed over. The lies, the manipulation, the stolen identity. 7 years of 60-hour weeks just to keep them afloat, while my own life slipped by. That's not my problem anymore, I say. My voice comes out soft but steady. My father's jaw clenches. Pride or survival, which will win? Finally, he grabs the pen Nadia holds out. This isn't over, he mutters, signing the paper. But we both know it is. As the pen scratches across the page, I feel something loosen inside me, a knot I'd carried so long, I'd forgotten what it felt like to breathe without it. After that, it's all business. No hugs, no long goodbyes, just paperwork swapping hands and boundaries going up. Outside, on the sidewalk in the bright San Francisco morning, I take a breath. Lighter. My phone buzzes. Elias. How did it go? I stare at his message, then type back, it's done. I'm free. The Sterling's perfect craftsman hits the market next Tuesday. By Wednesday, the listing racks up 37 saves and a dozen showing requests. Thursday morning, the texts start. Downsizing? Asks the country club president's wife. Retirement in Arizona? Guesses Charlotte's bridge partner. My mother ignores them all. For the first time in her life, she has nothing to say. Shame does what logic never could, it shuts her up. I watch it all from a distance. Not happy, not sad, just clear. The weight is gone. My back straightens a little more every day. I breathe deeper. My therapist calls it reclaiming your power. For once, I actually believe her. I call it survival. Elias calls on Friday night. It's like watching a meteor hit, he says, voice low like Graham might somehow overhear, even though he's miles away. Mom hasn't left her bedroom in 3 days. Dad sits in his study, working his way through a bottle of scotch. Are they asking you for money yet? I ask, tracing the edge of my kitchen counter. He pauses. That's all I need to hear. They tried, he finally says. I said no. I smile. She nods, grateful. Later, she falls asleep on my couch, and I stand at my window, watching the city lights flicker. Parents are supposed to protect their kids, right? Not use them as collateral. 2 weeks go by, and I get an email from the escrow company. The Sterling estate has sold. The $85,000 in fraudulent debt gone, wiped out. My credit score jumps 53 points overnight. My lawyer calls to tell me Graham and Charlotte had to rent a 2-bedroom in a building with no doorman, no elevator, nothing special. The leftovers from the sale, after the mortgage and my restitution, barely covered their security deposit. When they signed the papers, they couldn't even look at me. I tell my therapist later. Not once. How did that make you feel? She asks. Nothing, I say. I felt nothing at all. 4 months pass. Danica moves to Seattle for a fresh start. Elias and Lena invite me over for dinner twice a month. I cook more. I sleep better. I start dating a little. I breathe. Then, on a Tuesday evening while I'm reviewing quarterly projections, my phone rings. Unknown number. I almost let it go to voicemail, but something makes me answer. It's my dad. His voice sounds smaller, older. It's your dad. I say nothing. We're having trouble with the deposit for the new apartment, he says, voice trembling. I just thought maybe. 7 years ago, those words would have sent me scrambling for my laptop, ready to wire whatever they needed to keep the peace. Not anymore. That's not my problem, I say, calm. Silence. I hear him breathing. Audrey, please. I hang up. No guilt. No obligation. Just a quiet, steady freedom. I block his number and turn back to my laptop. The spreadsheet on my screen has a new title, Condo Down Payments. I'm looking at 2 bedrooms with views of the bay. Turns out, the useless daughter is the only one who got out. 2 years later, morning sunlight stretches across the hardwood. I stand in my new 2-bedroom condo, coffee warming my hands, looking out over the Golden Gate Bridge. Sometimes the view still stops me cold. It's alive, vast, breathing against the city's skyline. My phone pings, calendar reminder. Housewarming party. 7 p.m. I smile. That $85,000 in restitution made the perfect down payment. Justice, with a view. Last week, I ran into Preston at a financial conference. He'd seen Graham stocking shelves at a grocery store in Oakland. Eyes down, shoulders tight. That fraud conviction means he'll never work in finance again. Charlotte's a part-time cashier at the same store. Her old friends disappeared like mist. The mighty Sterlings undone by their own greed. I don't feel the satisfaction I once imagined, just peace. The doorbell rings at 6:58. Elias and Lena are first, arms full of groceries. We're making drinks, Elias announces, kissing my cheek. He moves around my kitchen like he's always belonged, pulling out bottles and glasses. Lena arranges appetizers. Your place looks amazing, Audrey. The condo fills up fast. My therapist brings homemade bread. My financial advisor shows up with his husband, both of them admiring the view. Old colleagues, new friends. Laughter and warmth fill the place, so different from those tense, performative dinners I grew up with. This isn't some forced celebration pretending to be joy. This is mine. The doorbell rings at 8:15. When I open it, Danica stands there, clutching a brown paper bag, looking smaller than I remember. She's ditched the designer stuff for jeans and a plain sweater. Her hair's pulled back in a ponytail, no glossy blowout, just her. Audrey, she says, almost whispering over the noise from inside. I'm in therapy. I'm working at a coffee shop. I'm so sorry. For everything. She holds out the bag. There's a bottle of wine inside, price tag still stuck on, $19. I can't help noticing $19 for a bottle, not 25 grand for a down payment. The irony stings a little. The old me would have tried to make her feel better, told her it was all fine, swallowed my own feelings just to be the fixer, the caretaker, the safety net. Not tonight. I look at Danica, really look at her, not as my mother's pawn, but as herself. She looks stripped down. Real. Human. Thanks for coming, Danica, I say. Nothing fancy. I step aside and let her in. It's not forgiveness, not yet. It's just a door cracked open on my terms. My phone buzzes in my pocket, a new email from my mother. I delete it, don't even read the subject line. My parents aren't on the guest list. Later, when the party noise swells, I slip out onto the balcony. The bay below glows under the streetlights, water shimmering like black silk. Inside, glasses clink, laughter rises, Elias is telling some story, the room howling. Danica sits off to the side, talking quietly with Lena. I sip my wine, feel the night air on my skin. For 34 years, I lived as someone's backup plan, someone's investment, someone's ATM. But standing here, watching the city sparkle, I'm none of that. I'm just Audrey. And I'm finally free.